What up? Guys, it's a beautiful, beautiful Sunday. I don't care what anybody says. I'm happy. If you're a Dolphins fan, which most of you who are in here are, holy crap, you guys should be happy like me. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about why, obviously, Miami Dolphins came out on top of the Buffalo Bills 30-13. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is and was our Super Bowl for the year. We did it. Look, the Buffalo Bills are a good team. So I realize it was just one game, but we beat the freaking Bills, man. And as Dolphins fans, this is something that has not happened in a very long time, let alone this is something that hasn't happened. What was it? 7 straight games they won, 14 out of 15. And the only win we had in there was a win by a couple points in the last seconds of the game. And there was a lot of excuses surrounding it. This one, there's no excuses. There was no excuses for the loss in this game. The Dolphins just beat the bricks off of the Bills, period. And we're going to talk about some good things that happened. There was a couple negatives, some bad stuff. But you know what? We won. And that's what we need to remember. So those of you that are here, welcome. Blake, what's up, man? Exactly. There's not much to say other than we beat the Bills. Kosa, what's up? Dude, you guys are rock stars. I'm so happy that you guys are always in here. Thanks for coming in, guys. Appreciate it. Buy stocks, dude. I know. Look, you might not be a Dolphins fan. I don't know if you're a subscriber or not, but as this is a Dolphins group, and we're just a little excited. and it's no insult to anybody. It's just we don't get many wins against the Bills. They're obviously few and far between, and it is what it is. Yes, Tua leads in interceptions. We'll get to that. Obviously, if I had to single out one person in this game that didn't play super good, would be Tua, obviously. But once again, this is an example of a team that didn't want to lose a game. You know, that's all it is. That's all it is. Buy stocks, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Like I said, are you a Bills fan by chance? Thanks for the sub. Appreciate it. We're obviously a little happy. What I'm gonna do here, guys. I'm sorry, I'm a little late getting in here. I wanted to get on right after the game, but obviously I'm slow and the day was a little busy. But I'm here now. I'm gonna go ahead and post the link, so if people want to jump in and talk a little bit, you're more than welcome to join me on cam. There's the link for everybody. As people start piling in, remember, you're more than welcome to come in. I'll keep posting that link occasionally in the comments. So 30-13 is the final score. It was 16-0 in the at the end of the first half. A lot of good things here. Too excited, but I don't care. The way we won it feels good. If we barely squeeze one out or something, not so much, but we beat the brakes off them in every phase. And here's the thing. Oh, brother, I'm so sorry. Look, you know what? Like I said, I mean, right now we're all kind of in the grips of the Patriots beginning to play well again, and it sucks for all of us. So, like I said, I understand and I've been watching a lot of Bills content the last few hours, and there seems to be a lot of frustration with y'all's head coach. Is that your frustration as well? Is it mainly the coaching that's got you guys up in arms? I know Josh Allen didn't have a great game today. Obviously, he didn't have a good game. He played bad in a lot of ways, but I wouldn't say he was the sole reason that the team lost. But a lot of Bills fans seem to be saying that it's the coaching that everybody seems to be upset with. Is that legit, or is that kind of just a scapegoat right now? Josh Allen looked frustrated. They were so flat, but coaching does suck. Okay, I got you. Right on. Good to know. I mean, like I said, you don't really know what's actually going on behind the scenes until you watch some content creators from the other teams and stuff like that. That's why I like to do it. Finspin, what's up, dude? Good to see you in here, man. Yeah. So I mean, the game was like I said, the game What I'm not going to do here is I'm not going to talk a bunch of smack against the Bills. Like I said, they've still won 14 out of the last 16 games against us. This was the first game in the last 16 or 17 games where the Dolphins actually won convincingly. So I'm not going to talk a bunch of smack like we're better than them. Obviously, clearly, we are not better than the Buffalo Bills. But today, just today, we were. We pulled it off, and we got a big win for us as a team because going to 2-8, I mean, already 2-7 is insurmountable, right? Nobody thinks we're going to make the playoffs or anything like that. Let's be real. So beating the Bills was something, and convincingly was something that the Dolphins really needed to do, not for anybody else, but for ourselves, right? And that's all it is. And like I said, oh, dude, Vice Docs, man, I hope we keep it going too. But man, we'd literally have to win every game left. That's 7 more games we would have to win to even have a shot at making the playoffs. And I'm a realist here. I don't really see that happening. There is a lot of parity in the AFC this year, so it's likely that a team that's 9-8 could make the playoffs. But I don't see it being Miami right now. Ironically enough, all the top teams in the AFC are teams that none of us thought were going to be there in the beginning of the year. I mean, if you really think about it, the playoff standings are just ridiculous right now. The AFC is just in complete upheaval. Let me pull this out for everybody, just so we can talk about this, because it's kind of unreal when you look at the conference standings. The Colts are number 1. The Denver Broncos are number 2. The New England Patriots are number 3. This is the AFC standings. The Pittsburgh Steelers are number 4, and the Chargers are number 5. Number 6 is the Buffalo Bills. Number 7 is the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the Kansas City Chiefs are just barely hanging on to that 7 seed. What a mess. Did anybody think that it was going to be anything like that before the season started? Because I had no idea. I was way off in my predictions. And I'm usually I'm off a little bit, but usually I'm pretty freaking close on picking the playoff teams before the season starts. Usually I have 1 or 2 that'll sneak in there. But if the playoffs started today, there'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There'd be 5 teams out of the top 7 that I would not have picked to be in the top 7. That's unreal. That's unreal. There's so much parity in the NFL this year. And the NFC is kind of the same when you look at it. It's just everything is kind of flipped, right? But let's go back to this game here. Josh Allen, 306 yards passing, 28 of 40, 2 touchdowns and a pick. There was also a fumble that he had too. So he was responsible solely for 2 turnovers. The interception, I'm not sure what was going on the interception that he threw into the end zone. That was a kind of a bad decision. And if you looked at that play, he could have ran that in. That was the sad part. Like there was a lane for him to get, even if not in the end zone, right at the goal line. So that was kind of a weird interception from him. The fumble that he had, the fumble was a thing of beauty because they came up. He was just kind of not going down and kept chugging and staying up, and came from behind and punched it out. But the funny thing about that is when he was coming off the field, I was saying the same thing when it happened. I was like, man, he should have just gone down. He already had the first down. Like, he should have just gone down. And then he came off the field and he was like, I should have gone down. He was saying the same thing. If we don't roll off 6 in a row now, it wouldn't be our Dolphins. They have to leave us teetering at the end and then fail past this prologue. Yeah. And that's kind of what I'm figuring. We'll probably win a few more games. I mean, I'm seeing maybe 1 or 2 more games for sure, but I'm not thinking anything crazy is going to happen here. But what I am happy about is a total team win, right? And that's what this was. We had a couple players have a couple bad games, but for the most part, the team played well together. Tua Tagovailoa, 15 of 21 for 173 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. And the picks were boneheaded picks. And Like, I could have shown you one of the picks, and that would have been both picks. Like, it was the exact same thing. Getting a little bit of a hurry, throwing off the back foot instead of setting his feet and throwing the ball downfield and throwing it up for Jalen Waddle, kind of just a lob. And throwing it into the center of the field like that, you have to expect both times picked off exact same way. They were both bad, right? You can't put that on Jalen Waddle. Both those picks were bad. So Tua didn't have an absolutely horrible game. He kind of managed himself. The two picks were unacceptable, like I said. He made up for it with a couple touchdown passes, but didn't do anything to really win the game. He was kind of manager type style here. Like I said, I will take this stat line, 15 of 21, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, over a 4 interception or 3 interception day, any day of the week. All right. So I'm not going to say that Tua tried to lose the game. I'm not going to say Tua was absolutely horrible, because he wasn't. But he did have a couple boneheaded plays, and the Bills made us pay on them for sure. Devon Achane, this man went off. 174 yards on 22 carries and 2 touchdowns. Devon Achane was insane. He also had a 59-yard carry. Like, I am so pleased with Devon Achane in this game. Jalen Waddle, 84 yards, a touchdown, 84 yards on 5 catches. It was averaged like 15 or 16 yards per catch. Jalen Waddle was a beast in this game. All right. Now, when we talk about this offense and how they did, and they were firing pretty well. Tua kind of had a couple whoopsies there and kind of slowed down a couple drives with his interceptions. But other than that, our offense was firing pretty well. I loved the way our offensive line played. They had a couple biffs. Jonas Vainaya was responsible for 2 of those 3 or 4 yard losses on run plays. He kind of messed up on his assignment and let somebody slide right through. But other than that, our offensive line played well today, including the worst offensive lineman in the NFL. Everybody knows who it is. I talk about him all the time. Larry Borum had a decent game as well. I'm curious to see what it looks like on the PFF's grades and stuff like that. I can't wait to see what those scores are and what it shows, right? Because I felt like the offensive line played pretty well. I still have to watch the All-22 a couple times. I've only watched the game once so far. I haven't really had my time to do my breakdown or anything like that, but I will do it. I wish that I could show the All-22 on screen, but whenever anybody seems to do that lately, it winds up getting copyrighted. So I would have to strike the video down if I did that, and I don't like doing that. So I still do the reviews and break the game down just so I kind of have an idea of what I'm talking about. I don't want to say stuff and just pull it out of my butt and be wrong. So, but from what I saw, it looked like the offensive line played pretty well. Running game was on point, guys. It was on point. Jalen Wright, 5 carries for 17 yards. Ingold had a carry for 6 yards, and it was a good carry. It was a great time. Got us a first down. Devon Achane also had 6 catches for 51 yards. So on top of that 175 yards rushing, he had 51 yards receiving too. Dulcich had a catch for 22 yards. He was targeted 4 times, so there was a few drops there. 2 of them were not his fault. One of them he just kind of bobbled and dropped. So, but he got involved. Westbrook Akine had 1 huge catch to get a first down and keep a drive alive. You like to see it. Like I said, things were going well for us. About Ollie Gordon had a rough carry. He only had 1 carry, and it was for 3 yards or negative 3 yards. I'm sorry. But it wasn't great. I was happy with the rookies showing up and guys like Jones, Brents, and Iffy making noise. Yeah, me too. And you know what's funny? We saw a lot of players in a lot of different positions today, and I was happy about it. Iffy made some plays today. Juju Brents was all over the field. I was stoked with how he was playing. Jack Jones as well. These guys were all over today. They were playing inspired. And we can talk about the defense a little bit. I mean, holy cow, our defense was incredible. They were playing great. I was watching the game, and those of you that were with me during the first half live stream, I was watching the game and I was like, man, okay, this is where the defense would usually start shutting down and doing bad or letting plays slide, and they just kept making plays when they needed to make plays, and I was blown away by it. I at some point there's a group chat that I'm a part of with the guys from 305 Gridiron. Shout out 305 Gridiron. Um, I I was on that chat with them, and one of them said, what is this? Is this our team? Is this the Dolphins? Like, what is going on here? And that's kind of what I was thinking too. I was like, man, these guys are not playing like you would expect the Dolphins to play. They were playing much more inspired football today, and it showed. The score shows that, right? I mean, the Dolphins scored their most points in the fourth quarter. That's the opposite of what the Dolphins usually do, right? I mean, the Dolphins played amazing football altogether, right? There's still bits and pieces that weren't great. There's still things that we could learn from. But overall, the Dolphins played a fantastic football game, and they got the win. Holding James Cook to 13 carries and 53 yards. You contained James Cook. Do you know how many teams this year have not been able to do that? Almost every single one. Almost every team the Bills have played were not able to do what the Dolphins did today with James Cook. 53 yards on 13 carries. You can't ask for much more than that from him. Khalil Shakir, 7 catches for 58 yards. Keon Coleman, 3 catches for 46. Like I said, the Bills, they played the game, right? They didn't just shut down. And when you look at when you look at the stats, the Bills had 376 yards of offense. The Dolphins had 370. The Bills had 3 turnovers and the Dolphins had 2, and that was a big reason why the Dolphins won this game was the turnovers. First downs, the Bills had 20, Dolphins had 19. The Bills had 6 penalties for 67 yards, and the Dolphins had 5 for 35 yards. Third down percentage, the Dolphins were 3 of 9, middle of the road. The Bills were 5 of 15. So both teams were at about a 33.3% conversion rate for third down. On fourth down, the Bills were 1 of 2, Dolphins were 0 of 0. Red zone possessions, Bills were 0 of 1. That was that interception from Josh Allen in the red zone, and then the Dolphins were 1 of 1. So you look at a time of possession of 31 and a half minutes for the Bills roughly, and 28 and a half minutes for the Dolphins. So most all of these stats, these team stats are even or close enough to even where you're not going to look at it and be like, oh, that's why they lost or that's why they won. This was just off of sheer will and points off turnovers. The Dolphins made it happen. Josh, what's up? Dude, exactly. What team did we just watch? Like you were saying in the group chat, what did we just watch? No, we didn't. And did anybody tell me everybody else saw this? That penalty for taunting on Chubb, he didn't say anything to anybody. He didn't gesture towards anybody. He walked away from the play to do his little celebration, did nothing different, and he got a taunting penalty. That was unreal. I don't know what happened there. If anybody here who's watching this saw that play and saw what happened that made it to where he deserved that penalty, please let me know, because I'm going to go back and I'm obviously going to watch the all 22, but I don't think it's going to show. I don't think it's going to show what happened there. I didn't see it. I didn't hear it. Nobody knows what happened. It was unreal. The Dolphins are basically the 1992 Bulls when nothing is on the line. And then when something's on the line, they're what? Oh, man. Yeah, Jules, I don't know. I don't know what happened there. I honestly have no idea. I wish I did. Yeah, it was a ghost call. Nothing. Local high school football team. That's a pretty accurate description of what we are when it matters. But I'm not going to complain about this game. Like I said, I was very impressed with the defense overall, right? shutting out the Bills for 3 quarters, essentially. Well, that is what it was. The Bills had no points through 3 quarters. They put up 13 in the fourth. So for the Miami Dolphins to do that, that doesn't get any better, right? That was just amazing. That was amazing. I was so proud of this defense and what they did. And furthermore, I was proud of this team. With everything going on, Chris Greer getting fired and all the other stuff throughout the last couple of years, especially, just to have a game like this where the Dolphins get that monkey off their back, where they beat the Bills, and not just beat them, but beat them convincingly. No one can turn around and say, well, the Dolphins didn't deserve to win this game. No one can say that. Am I saying we're going to make the playoffs? Am I saying we're going to win the last 7 games and finish 10-7? No, I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying that I'm proud of this team for what they did. Oh, dude. No, you're not jaded. I saw it too. You know what? Actually, I'm going to go ahead and pull that up for everybody to see, because if you guys haven't seen it, it's actually pretty funny. Like I said, I laughed when I saw it because I kind of just, you have to. But it was pretty crazy how they were celebrating. I'm going to see if I can find it real quick. It was hilarious. Oh my goodness. You got me laughing. I hope I can find it now. I don't want to say it and not deliver. Here we go. All right. Bear with me here, guys. I'm working on it, I promise. Okay. Let me get this big, and let me bring this over here. All right, guys, are you guys ready for this? Definitely call this. It was a positive note for sure. And that's kind of what I'm getting at here. We need to enjoy this one a little bit. Look at the Dolphins players. They were enjoying them. I don't even know what they're doing.
For all those times that dudes were like, why is this happening? That's why. Because you become a special version of yourself. I'm so proud of you guys. Cold-blooded. That was some cold-blooded. Guys, this is the whole point. Enjoy this one, guys, because you earned every inch.
That's how you play football, bro. When we play company football, all levels, bro, I don't think no team in the club really can.
They can't. They can't.
Y'all see the people in week in, week out, bro, and that's how you go out there and make.
Hey, y'all.
Like you hurt. Hang on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, so like I said, I know it was a little intense, like Josh said, like they've never won before, but I don't think they've had a game like this in a while where they beat a team like the Bills. The Bills are a quality football team. Nobody can deny that, right? Yeah, that we were talking about that earlier. We actually have a Bills fan in here kind of talking about it a little bit. Everybody's saying that the coaching staff is horrible for the Bills. I'm a little out of touch with that, but I mean, the guys that are in the middle of it, they know. They're saying the Bills won their Super Bowl last week against Kansas City, yeah, and Miami won theirs today. Yeah, this was definitely the Dolphins Super Bowl for the year. Josh says, question for y'all, and something we'll talk about on the show for a bit. Does this win change anything in regards to your view of what this team has to do in the offseason? What it does tell me is that we do have some people on this team to build around. That's something that it does tell me. I think that there's a lot of changes that need to be made still. It doesn't change my views of a lot of that, but it does make me feel a little bit better about the base work of this team and the fact that there are players here that we can build off of. I'm not going to lie. For a while there, I was thinking that we don't have much to build off of. There are a few players, obviously, the obvious ones, but looking at it and looking at the way some of the rookies played today, I do feel a little bit of a renewed vigor in some ways, right? But for the most part, there's still a lot of changes that need to happen, and I think most Dolphins fans are on the same page there. By all means, though, guys, tell me what you guys think too. I did like the aggression on both sides of the ball. The way Weaver called the defense was spectacular. Absolutely. Anthony Weaver called a masterful game today. And Jason Marshall was on fire. He was amazing. Jason Marshall, everywhere Jason Marshall was, he was making plays. He was on it today. I'm so glad that he's back and playing well. And it was weird because they started him in the nickel this year, right? And then he got hurt and then comes back, and now they've got him on the outside. And I always thought of him as kind of an outside player anyway. So whatever. I just, as long as he's on the field, I like him a lot. And that's one of those rookies, you know. We have so many people that could be a part of something special. We just got to put it all together and get a few more spots taken care of on the team. But like I said, I was very impressed with Jason Marshall too, for sure. The get along gang. Yeah, yep. Right. Yeah, he was outside in college. That's why I was kind of surprised that they moved him to nickel, and I figured it was just because he is kind of a headhunter a little bit, like he's got that power. And I was thinking, okay, they're probably just doing that because he's a bigger cornerback and they want him in the nickel and see what he can do. But I think he's much better on the outside for sure. And he was shut down out there. So I feel bad for Bonner. Got 2 plays on D, gave up a touchdown, and was immediately benched for the game. Yeah. I noticed that and what's sad is as soon as Bonner came into the game, the Bills were picking on him. Like they went to him immediately. And it was hard to see because like you, Aqua, I am always constantly rooting for Bonner. This wasn't his game today. He just couldn't get it going, and once he got into the game, he got picked on immediately. So doesn't mean that I think he's going to be permanently benched. I think he's still going to have opportunities for sure. I don't think Mendoza will be available when it's our turn to draft. I think we need to trade back and pick up some much needed value draft picks. We have so many positions. Exactly. I'm not really of the camp that says draft the best quarterback we can immediately in the draft. I think there's too many other needs right now. And if we can iron some of that out, I think then I would be more willing to look to quarterback, right? All right. Yeah, he was just getting blown up a little bit today. And like I said, it doesn't mean that I think he's trash. I really don't think Bonner is trash. He's got a spot on this team for a reason. And I do think he has some good things to offer the team. Today, just it wasn't his day. So if I saw a performance like today for the rest of the year where he got a few plays every game and did the same thing, then I would feel a little different. But for right now, I'm not there. I think that I think he's going to be okay, right? So that's where I'm at with Bonner. He's not the fastest cornerback, but he's not slow either. I wouldn't say he's too slow. But I don't know. To each their own, you know. What do you think about the announcers making excuses because it was hot? It was only 83 with 70% humidity. I'll say this, coming from Buffalo, 83 degrees and 70% humidity can be pretty rough. But for a large portion of this game, it was a torrential downpour. So, I mean, it wasn't overly hot, like to the point where it's going to cause issues. It was constantly cloudy the whole time. It wasn't sunny. So to complain that one team was in the sun and one was in the shade, that's crap. It wasn't like that at all. Both teams were shaded from the clouds. So, and both teams were dealing with cramps and stuff like that. You saw Chubb with his cramp and a couple other players on the Bills and a couple on the Dolphins too. So it wasn't like absolutely horrible weather like that. That's not something you can blame it on this year. And I don't think any player on the Bills is going to use that as an excuse. So if the Bills aren't going to use it as an excuse, I don't think that that announcers should be using it either. Yeah, you're right. And you know what? You're right. He had a bad game. Marshall had a great game. Bonner's had a couple good games too, right? And the reason I don't think Bonner is going to be going anywhere is because he's a special teamer and he's a good special teamer. So I'm not thinking he's going to go anywhere. I think he's going to get a few opportunities in games still. I just don't think he's of starting quality right now. But I do like Ethan Bonner. So yeah, it's called home field advantage, Blake. Exactly. And there wasn't much of an advantage. It was just both teams playing in warm, wet weather, you know. Steamy. Steamy. Kosa says slippery balls. Oh man. I think that this is kind of what the Dolphins needed. They needed a good win they can build off of. And we've had 2 good wins in the last 3 games. And that's something that people aren't really thinking about. Yes, we did lose to the Ravens. But we had a good game against the Falcons, and the Falcons aren't a crap team. They're not. I mean, they're not the best team in the NFL by any stretch, but they're not a garbage team. And the Dolphins had a good quality win against them. And they lost to the Ravens, and then we came out and we beat the Bills. And it was a quality win. It was a good win, right? So 2 out of the last 3 have been good wins for the Miami Dolphins, and that's how I'm looking at it right now. I'm just looking for improvement. I'm looking for the team to improve, and that's what I'm seeing right now. If we don't look any farther into the future, I'm seeing some improvement. A little more sense of urgency on the field. Obviously not in the Ravens game, but the other 2 games so far against decent teams. The Bills are a good team. The Falcons are a decent team. We lost to the Ravens, and the Ravens are going to be beating a lot of people. I know that their record isn't the most unblemished, but the Ravens are going to be beating a lot of people at this second half of the season. So Ravens and Colts are the only games we really got beat bad in. The rest were winnable games. Agreed. They were all close enough to consider winnable for sure. I thought this game we were going to get blown out and McDaniel was going to get fired. I thought we were going to get blown out for sure. I thought we were going to lose by 14 plus. Officially, I had us losing by 14 points. But I did not think that McDaniel was going to get fired just because, even if we got blown out, just because I think they're going to try to roll with McDaniel through the end of the season, and then I think he's going to get let go. That's what I think. But, I mean, like I said, I could always be wrong. I'm not a perfect person for sure. How's everybody else feeling about this? Anybody got any thoughts on anything? This is your therapy session. Granted, right now it's a good mood, but we all have this session because this game I feel like was therapy for us, for fans of a team with so much dissent and so many problems right now. This was good for us. Every game should be all about player evaluation and front office evals. If we win, great. But what matters now is to see and assess what we have for the next regime. Absolutely. And that's what I was talking about when I was talking about these rookies and these other players that we could possibly start building a team on. We have a good beginning to a base here. I wouldn't say all the base players are here, but we've got something we can build from. And I think that's why it's so important for the rest of this season to focus on letting some of these players come in and out and rotate players around. I do think there's a chance for that. I'm not sure how much of a chance. I think as we move along with the season, we'll get a better idea. What I will say about Champ Kelly is there was a reason he was brought here. Okay. And when he was brought here, I think it was because part of the organization knew that it was going to come to this, where Chris Greer would eventually be let go, and they wanted someone here that could take the interim position over. And I think that's why Champ Kelly was brought in. Champ Kelly has got experience doing this kind of thing, right? And I think that that's kind of the reason he was put here. So, of course, there's definitely a chance he could end up getting the job. He wants the job for sure. So I think there's definitely a chance. Just not sure how much of one right now. But we'll see how he does with everything. Right now, he's already made a couple moves, right? He's cut somebody, put him back on the practice squad. I think it was a good move. I don't think Tanner Connor has any business being a rotational player on this team right now. And I think that getting rid of Jalen Phillips was a good team move. I do like Jalen Phillips, though, so that was hard. But we have 8 to 10 foundational players and another 8 to 10 solid basic contributors going forward. Agreed. That's something you can build off of. Yeah, I've heard the reports, but I'm not 100% convinced of it. I think he would definitely take that job, but that's just me personally. Either way, he was brought here for a reason. And if it's just to be the interim because they figured it was going to be needed, then that's it. But I guess we'll see. We'll just leave it at that, I suppose. Tua's here next year, and by extension, so is McDaniel. They'll keep Champ for the year and take a long look at blowing up the front office together after 26 if they don't crush it till next year. That's entirely possible. And I think that thing that you just said, Finspin, that is, I got to get to this next comment in a second, but this is dependent on what we do for the rest of the season, right, Finspin? That's kind of where I'm at with that. Josh says Tanner is the one, per my breaking news, that punched Tua. He had to go. I didn't say Tanner Connor punched Tua. You guys said that in your stream when I was on there with you. I just said I think somebody on defense punched Tua, and I think that's why he's got a black eye. You guys are killing me. No, I'm going to forever be known as the guy that said Tanner Connor punched Tua. Oh, jeez. I didn't say that, Josh. Don't you dare. I said the defense did it. Whatever, I'll own it. Tanner Connor punched Tua. Oh, my goodness. I'm dying. My eyes are watering. It's like, goodness gracious. How dare you, Josh? Oh, man. If it comes out that that's what happened, holy crap. Oh, man. Can we take Connor's hip and give it to Tua? Stop it. Oh. That'd be good reparations for sure. Comment of the day right there. It's been a good Sunday, guys. Sitting here having a laugh, that's good. I think that this fan base needed this. Just a little bit of good news in the middle of a really bad season, right? Maybe not even just one bad season, a couple bad seasons. Needed to get this win. It feels good to get a win like that. That wouldn't have been a punch. Ask Geno Smith what a real punch from a teammate feels like. His mouth is unwired now, he'll tell you. Truth. Laughing after a win is better than trying to do it after a loss. Dude, absolutely. That's kind of where I'm at. Like, I just want to enjoy this. I just wanted to get on here and and have a couple laughs with you guys and just chat it up a bit. I know that it's been rough on all of us, right? It's hard being a fan of a team that just sucks so bad this year. It's been rough. And to have something good happen, it feels good. And we should all enjoy it a little bit. I hope the players enjoy it a little bit too. Yeah, what Josh said. Absolutely. This. Like and sub. Absolutely. Do it, do it, do it. Man, what a day. And we got Sunday Night Football coming up too, and that's I mean, I don't know how many of you guys watch other football games, but I watch a lot of football. And we got a decent game coming up. I know it's not like or on right now. Actually, it's just started a little while ago. I am missing something crazy with this game. Holy cow, it's 3-2. Jeez. 3-2. Those Chargers got a safety already, huh? My goodness. Blake, what happened with the safety, man? I missed it. Huh. Crazy. Yeah. Good game going on. Good AFC matchup. Absolutely. That's where I'm at. Like, we got to win, right? And then now we can watch a game and just kind of enjoy it and know that we actually got to win for once. It's awesome. Got to sing it. Got to sing it. Remember when Alan talked about Wilkins handling his balls? I think after today, Alan shouldn't talk about handling balls. Definitely agree with that. Although Wilkins actually did that. That was that would drive me nuts too if Wilkins did that to me. Gotcha. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, I missed that. I put the game away so that I could pull up the Dolphins celebrating in the locker room, and I forgot to pull it back up. Yeah, and I wonder what the deal is with that, because he never actually finished the rehab like the team wanted him to, and I wonder if nobody's picking him up because of that. Because I heard rumors that he actually is healthy now, but I don't know what's going on there. I'm kind of surprised by the whole thing. I wouldn't mind having him back. Any Dolphins fan should be okay with having him back. I mean, he did great for us. Steeler benefited when he was here. I'm not saying Steeler needs him to benefit, but I'd like to have them both back again. Salt and Pepper reunited. It's the only way it should be. Sure. Yeah, that'd be great. I'd be down for that. He wouldn't want a ton of money because he's already getting paid, right? Those of you that are in here, make sure you throw the like down. If you're new, please subscribe. Check me out. I won't let you down. I do live streams a couple a week and videos, and I bounce around on other people's channels. I jump on Josh's channel when I get an opportunity because I like chopping it up with them. The amount of comments about him being fruity was pretty terrible, and it's still a problem with modern NFL. Sure. And it's just his personality. He's just, he's a big kid. He plays around. He messes with people. It's just what he does. The trade deadline is over. Yeah, but he's not he was released from the Raiders. So we could sign him. Anybody could. He's available. He's the best available player at that position by far. And just no one's taking him. I don't know what the deal is. I think they're afraid of the injury or all the locker room destruction rumors. I'm not sure. But he could be signed, definitely. Yeah, Las Vegas is paying him tons of money, so he would take minimum style contract numbers to go play. He wants to play, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Totally, I agree 100%. Aqua, 100% agree. So here we go. The Miami Dolphins are 3-7. heading to Spain to play their next game against the Commanders. Now, this game is going to be 5:30 in the morning my time. I'm going to have to get up early to watch it. But I will be live streaming for that game, by the way. And Tuesday, I'm going to do my normal live stream, probably another live stream on Friday. And then I'll do the game on Sunday morning. Those of you that actually get up to watch that game, come join me and watch with me. I'll be up. The reason I like him coming back on the short would allow our rookies to sit and learn without having too much responsibility. Absolutely, for sure. We're on the same page, Josh. Like I said, you and I, we agree with almost everything, I think. I mean, we differ in opinion on a few things, but for the most part, I'm right there with you, man. I agree 100%. It would be nothing but a benefit to have him, and I would love to have some of our rookies learning from him, like Zeke Biggers and a couple other guys. I would love to have Zeke being taken under the wing of Christian Wilkins. Dude, down. Do it. Bet. I would love to have you come on for that Madrid game. Definitely. Does anybody know what channel is covering that game? Is it NFL Network? I think it's NFL Network. I'd have to look and see. But awesome, Blake. Good deal. Yeah, I will definitely be up for that game for sure. Sounds good, Josh. Sounds good, man. Yeah, NFL Network. Okay. Yeah, I will be watching that game for sure. For shizzle. So we have the Commanders next week in Spain, and then we have our bye. Okay. After that bye, we come out against the Saints and the Jets. The Saints is going to be a home game, and we'll be at the Jets. So those next two games, if and like I said, I'm not saying we're going to win all of our games and make the playoffs, but this initial schedule, it's not horrible to finish the season, okay? The Commanders, the Saints, the Jets, at the Steelers, home against the Bengals, home against the Buccaneers, and then finish up at the Patriots. Could be a lot worse. Could be a lot worse. And there's the chance to win a few more games there. And I think that would be good for this young team to stack a couple wins. Like I said, that's something that needs to happen. They need to stack a few wins. And I think they can do it. Beyond that, anything else would be a bonus. But that, like Josh says here, with the Jaden Daniels injury last week, that game becomes pretty manageable. They've also got a few key players out on defense too. That becomes a pretty evenly matched game, especially with the confidence that hopefully the Dolphins gained from this game, seeing how they played in this game. And the last two out of the last three games, they could very well go into Spain and end up beating the Commanders. I'm not saying it'll happen right now, but I'm saying it's a possibility. Doesn't look like the end of the schedule doesn't look as foreboding as it did in the beginning of the season. The one thing I'll say that does not look good on the tail end of this schedule for us is that game against the Patriots to end the season. The way the Patriots are playing right now, they're going to give anybody a hard time, right? The Patriots are playing very well, and I'm not going to sit here and mince words about it. I'm not going to talk smack about a team that's playing very well. Those poor Patriots fans went through 4.5 years of the Patriots playing like crap, and now they're right back at the top of the AFC East. My goodness. I hate the Patriots. Okay. Moving on. So right now at 3-7, they could get a few more wins here and finish with a respectable record. And more importantly, finish the season with a little bit of confidence, something to build on. You want these rookies to leave this season not totally jaded, not totally looking at themselves as one of the biggest losers in the NFL. I would love nothing more than us to kind of turn that around a little bit. Like I said, I'm not expecting winning every game and making the playoffs, but I am of the camp that would rather stack a few wins, learn from it, build a little bit of confidence going into the offseason I'd rather see that and a 7th or 8th pick in the draft. I'd rather see that than see number 1 pick in the draft and absolute garbage for the rest of the year. I know that there's another camp. A lot of people think that's the way to go, and to each their own. I'm not going to tell other fans how to fan, but me personally, I want us to stack a few wins. So that's where I'm at with it. Oh yeah, dude, Finspin, you're right. Like I said, when I went to Spain, there. Obviously, I'm not from Florida, right? I'm not a Miami guy. But when I went to Spain, I have never seen so many Dolphins fans in my entire life in one spot, in person, and that was just walking around. There are so many Dolphins fans in that country. It's unreal. So knowing that and knowing that we're going to go play this game in Spain, there is a lot of fans that are people that are Dolphins fans that are going to be at that game. It's going to be heavy Dolphins. It'll almost play like a home game, aside from the whole, overseas thing. Spain is an amazing place. So hopefully the Dolphins enjoy themselves over there. Hopefully they get a dub. I cannot wait to watch it. I will not. How dare you? I will. You know what I'll do? I'll send it to you, Josh. Oh my goodness. I loved Ted Ginn when he came into the league. I was so excited for him, and I was so wrong, but I still got that jersey. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go buy a Ted Ginn poster. I'm going to have to hang it on my wall just for you. I'm not going to sacrifice that jersey ever. That was my first signed jersey. I'm not getting rid of it. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. It's not the end of the year. It's not the end of the world right now, guys. I know 3-7 is hard, but we have gotten 2 wins out of the last 3 games, and they were quality wins, right? I feel like after watching the way the team played today and watching that Falcons game, I'm not saying they're a new team, but I'm saying they've turned a little bit of the corner, and they are playing to get better. They're working to improve, and that's what I wanted to see. I don't think Mike McDaniel has lost the locker room. Not yet. And because of that, I don't think that they're going to end up letting him go, at least until the season's over. Once the season's over, they very well could let him go, and I would not be surprised. Also, from what Finspin said, that's a possibility when he said that they very well could end up keeping Tua and McDaniel for next year. It's a very real possibility. But ultimately, my focus is on what are we going to do with the rest of the team and the needs this team has moving forward. Number 1, you develop your rookies and you play them as much as you can. You rotate out, you give them experience, and that's what they did today. The last couple of weeks, I've been very impressed with what they've done with the players, especially today. A lot of experience being gained, right? A lot of learning, and I'm happy with that. So, and like I said, I like Ethan Bonner. I know he could be better, but he has these moments where he shines a little bit. Maybe not in this game, but what I would hope for from Ethan Bonner from this game is to watch those plays and know what he did wrong. One of those plays he got beat because he stepped inside instead of outside. It was just a wrong step. That's all it was. One step. And in this NFL game, that's all it takes to get beat, right? So, and what the difference between a good player and a bad player is that they learn those things. What do you mean? Help me out here. Me too. I still think that as far as Tua goes, I think the big thing right now is I think that his hip is worse than everybody thinks. And I think that because of that hip injury, the one that he got last year, not the one in college, but the one last year, I think that took a lot off of his zip. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of zip as it is, but when you take away as much as he's lost, it seems like he's lost a lot of the zip on the ball, and I think that's why he's getting himself in trouble. If you look at a lot of those picks and stuff this year, they're ducks. It's just they're floating up in the air and dropping down, right? And I think that's part of the problem. A lot of the other passes, he sails a lot of balls this year, and I think it's because he's trying to compensate for not being able to get a good rotation in his hips when he throws the ball, and that compensation is it's getting him in trouble. So hopefully he can work it out. If not, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility to be without Tua next year. It'll hurt us a little bit, but what I do know is we're not going to get rid of Tua this year. It'll be in the offseason, if anything, after the draft, if anything. I mean, you can't really say that though. I mean, when's the last time that they beat? I mean, they do play. It's a rivalry, right? So the Dolphins are always going to play hard, but when's the last time the Dolphins have beat the Bills by more than a couple points? I mean, it's been like 7 or 8 years. So, and like I said, I'm not saying the Dolphins are good because they beat the Bills. I'm not saying the Bills are bad because they lost one game. I know that the Bills are a good team, and I know that the Dolphins as a whole this year have not been good. But this game, they played very well, and they played better against the Bills this game than they have in a long time. That's where I'm at with it. Oh, sure. I'm not saying that's the only thing. It's just I'm saying that that's one of the things that I've noticed big time. Yeah. You know what I haven't seen as much of lately? I haven't seen as many fumbles of snaps the last few games, which is good. But I would say the happy feet, the panicking, that's something that worries me. And that's not something you can just teach. You can just coach out of somebody. They've got to get that under control themselves. You know what I mean? The happy feet, that does bug me a lot. Because when you get happy feet, what do you not do when you finally get rid of the ball? You don't set your feet when you have happy feet. And that's what Tua's been doing a lot. And both those picks that he threw today was from happy feet. Not setting his feet, not setting that back foot and zipping the ball out. Instead, constantly moving in weird ways and then throwing the ball up just in a prayer. That's what he did twice. Low bar. Well, you know, I am what I am. All in all things said, guys, it's a good win for Miami. A little bit of a heartbreaking loss for Buffalo just because they're falling farther and farther behind the division-leading Patriots at the moment, which is, I can't believe I'm saying that. I can't believe I'm even saying that. The Patriots are leading the division again. Horrible. Let's see. Patriots are 8-2. The Buffalo Bills are 6-3. The Jets won again today, so they're at 2-7, and the Dolphins are 3-7. I mean, I didn't see New England being in first place on this division this year at all at any point. So Patriots are playing well, and the Bills now are getting farther behind. Both teams are 4-2 in the conference, so it's anybody's division still. It doesn't mean the Patriots are going to walk away with this division yet, but a little bit of parity this year. It's good. It's good for views, that's for sure. There was a stat during the game that it was the first time since 2003 they had that large a deficit against the Fins in the third quarter. Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. It was a different kind of game, not what we're used to watching Dolphins and Bills. So that's why I was excited. But here we are. We have this win here. Bottom line is, Enjoy this, Dolphins fans. Enjoy it. Enjoy this game. Enjoy the fact that we actually won a game in a good way, a convincing way, against a very good team. The Bills have had a couple struggles this year, but they are still a very good team. Don't get it twisted. Josh Allen is still a very good quarterback. And an elite level quarterback. And the Dolphins played today and made him look subpar. And you could say it was Josh Allen's fault all you want, whoever, whatever, it doesn't matter. The Dolphins played well, and we need to enjoy this one because it's been rough, and this was a great thing. And I even said in the beginning of the year, if we end up coming out lame and having a bad season, all I want is a Buffalo win. I just want to win against the Bills, and we got that. So I'm going to remember what I said in the beginning of the season, and I'm going to be happy about this win. And I'm going to look forward to next week against the Commanders. I can't wait to get back on here on Tuesday and talk Dolphins Commanders, talk about the developments in the NFL up to that point, and talk about some games. We'll deal with this 1 week at a time. We got the Commanders this week coming up, and hopefully that equates to a win. Thank you, everybody, for being here and tuning in. I appreciate you guys. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. Everybody throw that like down. Help me out a little bit. Comment. Tell me what you guys think about the game. Tell me how you feel. And I'll get back to you guys on Tuesday when we do our next live stream. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Fins up and stay hopeful if you can. We'll talk to you guys later.